Good afternoon, everyone. It's Nick here, and I'll be looking at the brand new and now finished Legion Season 3. So this is going to be a very light, brief recap on Season 1, 2, and 3. No spoilers as far as Season 3 is concerned, but I'm assuming that you've watched Season 1 and 2 if you're watching this. So as I say, this is a sort of Season 3 review, and there won't be any spoilers for Season 3, but we're going to have to talk a little bit about what happened in Season 1 and 2 in order to actually look and critique on Season 3. Understand? Great. So, of course, we're talking about Legion. The most powerful son of a bitch mutant out there is David, played by the absolutely brilliant Dan Stevens. And I think I have a man crush. If I was ever going to be gay, it would be for Dan Stevens, 100%. Anyway, thought I'd have to get that off there. But yeah, so Season 3, I was really looking forward to. We had 8 episodes in Season 1, 11 episodes in Season 2, which sort of fleshed out a lot more of the story and where we were going. And as we saw in Season 2, David was sort of spiraling out of control, becoming a bit of a joke, which ultimately ended up with him kind of being god of the world, I suppose. Yeah, Season 1, I suppose we could sort of break out as him trying to get rid of the Shadow King, played superbly by quite a few people actually in Season 1. Season 2 and 3, it was basically sort of one guy, which is Iranian-born Navid Nekhban, I think it is. And he is so bloody brilliant. He just oozes class and menace when he's on the screen. So, yeah, Season 1, David's already trying to get rid of the bastard sitting inside his head. Season 2, him kind of losing control while, as he's sort of grabbing on or trying to sort of find any sense of what's going on around him. He actually was a bit of an arsehole in Season 2. I mean, there's even a whole sort of almost sexual attack that kind of takes place in Season 2 with his girlfriend, played brilliantly by Rachel Keller as well. She's fantastic in this the whole way through. She's absolutely brilliant. In Season 3, she actually has her own little episode, actually. And if you remember in Season 1? Yes, Season 1 has the absolutely brilliant Jermaine Clement. He's so fucking classy in this, man. And he appears in Season 2 as well. He also appears as a special guest appearance in his own episode, episode 4 or 5, or 5 I think it is. And yeah, this is the nice thing about the show, is that even though David is the sort of central thing here, you do get a lot of time spent on other characters and they develop. And I mean, as I say, he's quite an abusive son of a bitch. So yeah, let's just quickly look at what the showrunner actually was talking about. This is Noah Hawley. He's the one that sort of created this. He was responsible for the series of Fargo too. So I must say, when they approached him, when I think it was FX approached him, yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe that they had chosen that. I mean, you'd expect, I don't know, somebody with a little bit more grounded reality shows. I mean, Fargo is pretty far out there. So when I watched the first episode, I think it was actually with a friend of mine, it blew my mind. It was refreshing. It was beautifully shot. I mean, the angles that they use on this, and even the sort of screens and gels that they use for the cameras. You know, even the sort of the cropping of the image, for example. I mean, 1 or 2 episodes in Season 1 had David sort of remembering things, perhaps incorrectly, and you would see the sort of the margins appearing around the screen. You know, depending whether he was thinking about something or remembering back about something. Even with different colors, using a lot of yellows and blues in Season 1. Season 3. Is very much like that again. Very much like that again. We sort of find David as being a sort of superhero, obviously a superhero, but like a god almost. And he's certainly got a messiah complex in this. But he also sort of realizes that he needs to fix things in this season. So that's what he's kind of trying to do. That being said, though, David is trying to fix things, but he doesn't ever really take full responsibility for things. And that's one of the reasons why I liked the character, well, his love interest over here, Sydney, because she really sort of reminds him that actually this is your fault, mate. You're the one who lost control. Yes, bad things have happened to you, but you're actually the one that's controlling us. No one can stop you. You can do what you want, literally. The only other sort of powerful force over here would be the character of the Shadow King, or Amul Farouk. And yeah, I mean, they have showdowns, but I mean, David is the most powerful, let's be honest. Yeah, the show is absolutely brilliant. Again, the characters here, Dan Stevens, and another person I'm going to point out over here is... I absolutely love Aubrey Plaza. Absolutely brilliant. I'm sorry, all of them are brilliant. Like, let's just say they're all absolutely excellent. And also, one of the nice things about this is the way that they mix up different sort of eras. I mean, you have a sort of floating blimp ship which can go into space. Why not? So it's really nice to see that sort of play on different timepieces being sort of stuffed together kind of story. So yeah, the show, I'm not going to give anything much away, well, no, nothing away of Season 3, but as I said, he kind of thinks he's a messiah. He's got his own little following of namely women. I think the only women who actually are living with him in a sort of convent or like cult kind of thing, literally huffing his own kind of like aura or chemicals, I suppose, making him high as kites. I love this show so fucking much. It's got brilliant images in it. Really, they were allowed to go completely mad with this. There's one particular image, I think it's the first episode of someone getting a sort of, cane around the neck and boom, pulled out of the camera. Brilliantly done. They do play around a lot with the way that they tell stories in this, and that's because they have a time traveler in here. This is how we're going to fix everything. Time travel, why-me. Played brilliantly by, actually she's a model. I haven't seen her before actually. That's Laura Tsai. She's a young mutant, as I say, she has time traveling ability, and she's working with David to try and fix the shit that he had started. Really great. Also, they developed more of the Xavier, his father. We spent a bit more time with him. I think we only saw a shot of his wheelchair in season 2, so I knew this was coming. I was hoping, that this was coming. And I like the fact that this is a package 3 season finished. It leaves a little bit, I suppose, towards the very end that might be reading into stuff, but this is it. Season 3, it's over, and I think it's quite sad that that's the case. We've got brilliant shows like the Amazon owned The Boys, which came out a couple of weeks ago, which is phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, it's absolutely brilliant. It's a sadistic sort of take on the superhero genre, and also it's very relevant to the world that we're living in right now. Whereas Legion, it certainly takes you away from the world that we're living in right now. It does deal with issues of the toxic male, I suppose, if you want to call it, or toxic masculinity. As I said briefly, in season 2, it touches on that with the sexual approach or assault even, and that is a big thing. I think that is something that the showrunner here wanted. I mean, he in an interview actually said that he wanted to touch on toxic masculinity, because a lot of the people who are watching this are, generally speaking, this is his words, are sort of demographically more the white male type who will be watching it. Not quite sure how that is true, to be honest with you. I'm not going to argue with his. I'm sure he's got a lot more research in this, but anyway. And he wanted to carry the message through a medium where people would be accessing it. The thing about this show is Legion is phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. Personally, I think it's the best that we have. We're living in an era where we have some bloody brilliant television out there. But the reason I think it's so absolutely phenomenal is because it's a breath of fresh air, but B, it is also very artistic and very stylistic. So I think that pushes a lot of people away. Season 2 played a hell of a lot with the way that things were told, not what was necessarily being told, and I think that pushed a lot of people away. I found myself in season 2 going, okay, so it's more straightforward, but you're having a lot more fun, which I appreciated, but I can imagine people getting turned off because it is so out the box, it is so crazy and out there. It's definitely held together, though, I think, by incredible performances. And season 3 blew me away. It's not a spoiler, but one of the episodes actually has a Pink Floyd song, Mother. And because obviously this entire thing, David, I'm not going to go into too much detail on there, but yeah, having Pink Floyd in anything is great. Having Dan Stevens sing it is fucking brilliant. And not bad, I must say, not a bad voice. I mean, Dan Stevens is a phenomenal actor. I think they really chose well picking him, because you got the whole Downton Abbey sort of like nice guy when he's being nice, because he really is a nice guy and he's an arsehole. He's a hero and he's an anti-hero. He's the good guy and the bad guy. And then of course you also have him acting like his character from The Guest, for example, who is a total sociopath and almost seems to sort of get off on hurting people. I mean, he does some very violent things in this, and because he thinks that everything will be fixed, he just doesn't care. So he can be quite menacing and malevolent and quite abusive and sadistic, as a matter of fact, in season 3, which is, that's a nice progression from his very sort of coward-like character in season 1. He didn't know what was going on, of course. Absolutely brilliant. Season 3, I'm trying to get people to watch it. As I say, it's not a big thing that's out there. Maybe it is over in America, but in England, I don't know anybody actually who's even watched it. It is on television, because you can watch it on Sky's Sci-Fi. They have Sci-Fi on Sky, even though it's an FX. Original Netflix is FX. I think it moved on to Sci-Fi after Netflix. After FX. And people have access to it, but it's not. People aren't exactly whispering about it, and it's a pity, because I think it is one of the best out there. It's sitting on 91% on Rotten Tomatoes right now, which is higher than The Boys. The Boys is highest on IMDb. It's the highest rated show on IMDb, but as far as I think this is actually, the Legion is the highest rated show on Rotten Tomatoes as far as superheroes are concerned, and there's a reason for that. It is a thinker's series. It's not a pick up and go. It's not like Doom Patrol, which is fun but also quite dark and stuff. Doom Patrol is a lot more fun, a lot more accessible than Legion. Legion, you have to think. It's not a show you can binge watch, even though I certainly would. It's an episode, we watch an episode and you think about what happened in the episode. It certainly keeps you going. I mean, I'm still thinking about what the hell happened in the last episode in season 3. just because of the soundtrack and the elements. I mean, it really turns a lot of ideas on its head. You know, you watch Marvel's movies like Endgame, for example, you get this massive climax that everyone's been waiting for 10, 11 years, with every character you love fighting against Thanos. This is not like that. This is a thinker's sort of thing. And I think, yeah, the subtlety in it, I hope a lot of people will pick up on. I'm not going to talk too much about it because it'll ruin it for everybody who hasn't seen it, season 3. So yeah, please do go out and watch it. I would easily give this a 9.5 out of 10. I think I'm going to go back and watch season 3 again, because that's one of the nice things about the show is that you don't know what you're taking for a ride as you're going through it, and then when you watch the last episode you go, I see what was going on. But this is all over the place, and again, stellar performances from absolutely everybody involved. Brilliant show. Really sad and bleak that it's gone, because we don't really have anything that is artistically this creative out there at the moment. Yeah, we got the Boys coming again, but God, I don't even want to talk about CW's trash that they shovel out there. The Flash, run faster, Barry. Anyway, so yeah, absolutely brilliant, great. Go watch it, guys, and let me know what you think.